Hey guys, it is Zorn1220 here with the Immortal Magnus build. It is for DKs, DPS ranged, and I'm just going to hop right into it. For starters, I have my second bar, I'm running Resto Staff, and it's completely a buff bar. There's no damage abilities on it whatsoever. Um, the first ability I have slotted here is Obsidian Shield, which I have morphed to Igneous Shield, which gives you major mending. And so if you have any restoration staff abilities on your second bar, then you increase your healing done. I'd take that morph there. The second ability is Spiked Armor, which is first on Draconic Power. It gives you Major Zald and Major Ward. You can read that there, and I have that. Morphed to Hardened Armor. Add some damage shields because of my champion points that I have set. That increases the effectiveness of my shields. Then it's followed by Reflective Scale, which reflects up to 4 projectiles for 4 seconds. Not a long time, but it's still pretty helpful. Especially when soloing stuff. All of this build is meant more for PvE group events. And I have it set to Reflective Plate to give me Minor Ward. I don't think this is worth it. You get 4 seconds of reflecting stuff back to the attacker. I don't like that as much. So yeah, definitely want to take Minor Ward to give you more buffs. Then I have Dragon's Blood, which right now heals me 33%. Also gain Major Fortitude, which is really nice, simply because I'm a vampire and the health recovery is taken down a good bit already. And then I morph this to Coagulating Blood. So you also get Minor Vitality, because once again, healing received is reduced with vampires, so that's very helpful. And then lastly, for the second bar, I have Molten Weapons. The final ability for this can kind of be messed with. I'm trying running Molten Weapons right now, just to give buffs to me and my allies. And it increases spell damage. But then I change it, morph it to Igneous Weapons, so it also does weapon damage. So no matter what everybody's running in the group, it'll benefit us in some way. But depending on the dungeons that we're doing or whatever events we might be doing, if we need more healing, I like to run Blessing of Protection as my final ability here, which is why I have the Restoration Staff. I'm sure I could use some of the other ones as well, but I like Blessing of Protection. So I really have a huge focus on healing. And then just have Bat Swarm as my ultimate. Which actually go ahead and cover that. So Bat Swarm, it deals damage all around you, but I have it set morphed to Devouring Swarm, so you gain life. You can run into the middle of an entire group and stay alive because of this. And then along with where is it? There's a passive that I have does really well with Bat Swarm. I think it's here in Earthen Heart. Okay, activating ultimate restores health, Magicka, stamina, and amounts increased by 70% ultimate's cost. So if you're running low on health and Magicka, you can just pop the ultimate, and all of a sudden your bar is basically back to full. It's really helpful. I like that passive a lot. Now onto our damage bar here. First one is Inhale. It draws energy from everybody around you and then releases it later as a flame. This is already a pretty good pretty good ability before the update because it gave you healing, some decent self-healing and decent damage to people around you, but it only did 3 targets. But now it draws from 6, and I have it set to draw essence. Both of these are actually pretty good. You can either interrupt the people that are casting, but I like to get the refunds on Magicka. Just so it keeps me pretty topped off on the Magicka at all points. So I have it morphed to draw essence. So good self-healing, good Magicka return, good damage to people around you. Just a great ability all over. I definitely like the update that it had to that. Most of my other abilities are going to be coming from the Destruction Staff line. So on number 2, I have Impulse. Just creates a ring around you, does damage to everybody. It's a great AoE ability that you can spam. And I have it set to Elemental Ring because it adds damage over time, which then combines with Force Shock. Force Shock, you can basically just sends a little pulse, little line between you, the staff, and the target, dealing damage. But when somebody's on fire due to Elemental Ring, Force Shock will, instead of being a single target, it will bounce between different all the targets in the area that are on fire. So it's really nice. Yeah, you can actually see that there with Force Pulse. That's what you get with the morph there. So when they're on fire from Elemental Ring, this now will damage nearby enemies that are burning as well, or whatever is happening due to whatever staff you're running. I prefer the fire staff with DK naturally. And then I also have Wall of Elements. Pretty simple, just a nice little path of fire, adding even more damage over time, which is kind of what this build's based off of. Get as much damage over time as possible. Yeah, I don't like Unstable Wall of Elements as much. I prefer Elemental Blockade because you can basically cover an entire hallway or area in a dungeon with it. It keep more enemies in it. I like it, and it runs longer. So basically, I think you just get more damage out of it this way. So I take the Elemental Blockade morph, and then last but not least, actually I forgot to put the ultimate back on that there. Last but not least is Inferno, my only Ardent Flame ability that I have set. It's pretty great. Simply, I love it because of the spell critical that it gives you. Before the update, you had to actually activate it, and keep it slotted on both bars. Well, I kept it slotted on both bars, so I wouldn't have to toggle it on and off every time I switch between the 2 bars. But now it's a activated ability instead of toggled, so you get that spell critical just for having it slotted. I love that change. And then it will actually go to the nearest enemy, causing flame damage. But I have Cauterize, so instead of damaging enemies, it'll heal allies. So I just can like put this on every few seconds and make sure it's healing people around me. So I do a decent amount of self-healing and then healing to others in my group. So it's very small off heals. So yeah, Flames of Oblivion would actually probably be better for somebody running maybe a stamina build looking for weapon critical. Yeah, that's not really a good one for me. Doing a Magicka DK, yeah, I definitely take Cauterize. And then, what else? Basically, yeah, just get all the passives I need. I don't really use this one because I don't have any of the abilities there. Oh, yeah, armor. That's the important part. I actually run a 5-piece Seducer with a 4-piece or 3-piece Magnus. to give me a lot of Magicka recovery. With this build, I basically sit at 60 to 70% Magicka throughout the majority of long fights and dungeons and other group events. So I definitely like that. Seducer, you can see, gives you recovery, maximum Magicka, and reduces Magicka cost abilities. Then Magnus gives you maximum Magicka and Magicka recovery. Then just running reduced spell cost and Magicka recovery. Actually, no, this all reduced spell cost rings and necklace. And then on these staffs, both of them have the absorb Magicka enchant. So it deals magic damage, but also restores Magicka. So I never run out, never have to pop any potions or anything during fights. It's very, very good build for magic recovery. At the same time, another option would actually be to run the Julianos set. Do Julianos and Seducer. I might be doing that here soon, checking that out, get some more spell critical, which will increase burst damage. Haven't quite decided on whether or not I'm going to run that. But I'm also working on getting the Valken Scoria set, which I have that here. Or maybe I don't. It's in my bank. Thought I had it still with me. But basically, it's a 2-piece monster set from the dungeons that when you do damage over time, you have a chance of dropping a meteor on your targets. And since I have a damage over time build, that'd be really good. I just need to get the helmet. I have the shoulder piece. And so if I had that, I'd probably run Julianos and Valken Scoria together to increase my burst damage, probably by several thousand. I might give an update on that here soon, later. I don't know. Depends on when I can actually complete City of Ash. That's a tough one to do. Last but not least, we have the champion points. I don't have as many as most people do right now, since this is still kind of a lower level vet.
User joined your channel.
But because of the self-healing, I have quick recovery. I'm going to put the other 2 points here. Increase the effectiveness of healing received. So it's from all abilities, whether it's from me or my allies. Once again, I kind of run that because of the vampire and because of the abilities I have set. And have Bastion, which increases the effectiveness of damage absorbing effects, like my shields that I have on my buff bar. So that's a huge thing to put champion points into. And then in the green here, the tower, not the tower, just the thief, I put a lot of my points into magic recovery. If you don't get it by now, I really like my magic recovery. I hate running out of it. It's just annoying. You feel so useless when you can't use your spells. And then I put some into Magician to reduce the Magicka cost of spells. And then, last but not least, I put all my mage points into Elfborn. Because it increases the damage and healing by spell criticals. Which is partially why I want to start running Julianos, is because I have that going. So if I have more spell critical, then I can do better. Right now, I'm at 55.3% on spell critical. Running Julianos, I'm not sure exactly how that would increase my stats, but definitely would do a good bit, especially if I keep the Divine's trait on my armor. Then it'll increase the Mundus Stone effect, which I have the Thief, which increases the critical strike chance. And then I have 34 points in Magicka, 20 in health. If you'd like, you can put all your points into Magicka. I just like a little bit of extra health. I don't like feeling so squishy. And my magic recovery is sitting at 1261 right now. Alright, so before each battle, basically I just pop my buff bar here. Usually don't pop Green Dragon's Blood, but I'm doing it right now. I use that. It's kind of like, oh crap, I'm about to die, I think. Everything else, put the buffs on. You see the buffs on the side. Crap ton of them. Then generally start with Elemental Ring. Get some DPS around everybody. Follow it up with Force Pulse. A few exhales in there, whatever it is. Also make sure they're almost always sitting on the Wall of Flames. Always. When in doubt, pop the vampire ult. Oh, still one alive. So yeah, definitely a good amount of DPS. AoE, perfect for PvE stuff. Now for PvP, eh. Who knows? So yeah, that's pretty much my build and what I use it, or how I use it. I do believe that explains my build. If you have any other questions, please let me know in the comments. And if you like it, or want to see another build, please let me know that as well. And have a great day.